What if I told you that to be here in the United States, whether you're here for some business or for some sightseeing, you'd have to post a bond of up to $15,000?
Just when you thought US immigration couldn't get tougher, it just did. The United States will begin demanding up to $15,000 in visa bonds from visitors coming for business or tourism for so-called high-risk countries.
Planning to visit the United States soon? You might have to pay up to $15,000 just to get a visa. The US is launching a new visa bond program. Some applicants may need to pay $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 bonds just to apply. It targets travelers from countries with high overstay rates or weak passports. If you opt to renew your B1, B2 visa, this could apply to you. The bond is meant to guarantee you'll follow visa rules and leave on time. It's a 12-month test program starting soon. Waivers are possible, but not guaranteed.
Imagine planning a trip to the United States, dreaming of seeing the iconic landmarks, experiencing the culture, and creating lasting memories. Now imagine if visiting the US suddenly required a $15,000 deposit. That's right, $15,000, before you even booked your flight, a sum that could easily derail travel plans. This isn't for a luxury upgrade, a first-class ticket, or a stay in a fancy hotel. This is a mandatory cash bond, a non-negotiable fee, just to apply for a tourist visa. A financial hurdle that many simply cannot overcome. This isn't some far-fetched hypothetical scenario or a plot from a dystopian novel. This isn't fiction. Starting August 20th, the US will require certain travelers from specific countries to pay this massive bond. And the worst part, you might not get it back. The money could be held indefinitely, creating even more uncertainty. The official reason given by authorities? To make sure people leave when their visa expires, to ensure compliance with immigration laws. But dig deeper, scratch beneath the surface, and it looks more like a financial wall designed to deter certain nationalities from even attempting to visit. So who's targeted by this policy, and why this exorbitant amount? Why $15,000? What's the justification for such a high figure? Today we're counting down the 10 countries directly impacted by this policy, and the reasons behind their selection will likely surprise you. This isn't just about cold, hard numbers and economic theories, it's about real people, their dreams, their aspirations, and their ability to connect with the world. It's about the future of international travel, and a policy that could fundamentally alter how people from certain nations interact with the United States forever. So stay with me until we reveal number one on our list. Because the country at the top is a country no one expected to be included. Let's get into it and uncover the truth behind this controversial travel bond. We've journeyed through a list of countries facing visa restrictions, each with its own unique story. Now, we arrive at number 10, Laos, a landlocked nation in Southeast Asia, known for its stunning landscapes, rich culture, and the serene Mekong River. It's not currently on the list of countries subject to stricter US visa policies, but it's considered a prime candidate for potential inclusion. The question is, why? What makes Laos a country of interest when it comes to immigration concerns? Why? The US government, particularly Homeland Security, fixates on visa overstay rates, the percentage of visitors who remain in the country longer than their visa allows. This metric is a key factor in determining which countries might face stricter visa regulations. Laos sits at 9%. This means that, statistically, 9 out of every 100 Laotian visitors to the United States overstay their visas. 91% follow the rules, adhering to the terms of their visas and returning home as required. The vast majority of Laotian visitors comply with US immigration laws, but for Homeland Security, that 9% overstay rate is a red flag. It triggers concerns about potential security risks and the integrity of the immigration system. If Laos is added to the list, it's not just a visa that's at stake, it's the financial burden placed on potential travelers. It's $15,000 in cash, a bond required by the US government to ensure visitors return to their home country. This effectively locks out most travelers, making it financially impossible for many Laotians to visit the United States. This policy doesn't care if you're a student seeking educational opportunities, a business owner looking to expand your ventures, or a grandmother yearning to see her grandchildren. It's a blunt tool that punishes everyone, regardless of their individual circumstances or intentions. For most Laotians, $15,000 is simply out of reach, a sum far beyond their financial means. The result? Only the wealthy can afford to visit the United States, creating a system of exclusion based on economic status. The underlying logic is that if people put a significant amount of money on the line, they will be more likely to return home to reclaim it. But it ignores the human reality, the complex reasons why people might overstay their visas, and the devastating impact such policies have on families and individuals. And as we move up the list, the numbers, both in terms of overstay rates and the potential financial burden, and the stakes get even higher, revealing the far-reaching consequences of these policies. Number 9, Myanmar, overstay rate 8.5%. But the real issue is political turmoil. The US sees instability and fears every visitor could become an asylum seeker. The $15,000 bond becomes a filter, punishing ordinary people for their country's crisis. For many, a US trip is a lifeline: business, education, or escape. The bond makes it impossible for most. The policy doesn't account for danger at home, it's a cold calculation, ignoring humanitarian realities. For Myanmar's citizens, the choice isn't just will I return, it's can I return safely? By making travel unaffordable, the US closes off a vital safety valve. This isn't just enforcement, it's a lifeline cut off. Number 8, Yemen. Overstay rate 11%. But Yemen is in the midst of a devastating war and humanitarian crisis. People aren't overstaying for fun, they're fleeing danger. The $15,000 bond ignores this reality, treating desperate families like flight risks. The US knows the situation, yet Yemenis are still targeted for financial penalties. The policy assumes everyone has a safe home to return to. For many Yemenis, that's not true. Imposing a bond here isn't just an obstacle, it's a moral failure. Number 7, Haiti. Overstay rate 12%. Haiti faces political chaos, disasters, and poverty. Instead of addressing root causes, the US prices out nearly everyone with the bond. In a country where most earn less than $2,000 a year, $15,000 is impossible. This isn't about filtering for rule followers, it's about filtering for the wealthy. For Haitians, travel becomes a privilege for the 1%, severing family and cultural ties. The message: your bank account determines your right to travel. Number 6, Eritrea. Overstay rate nearly 14%. Eritrea has a long history of US travel restrictions and was on the Trump-era travel ban. The US cites lack of cooperation from Eritrea's government as a reason for the bond. The policy isn't just about individuals, it's diplomatic pressure, punishing citizens for their government's actions. For Eritreans, the bond makes visiting family or studying abroad nearly impossible. The $15,000 deposit amplifies tensions, turning travel into a proxy battle between governments. Ordinary people pay the price for political disputes. The bond is collective punishment, not just immigration control. Number 5, Chad. Another country with a history of US visa restrictions and a high overstay rate, often over 15%. Chad fits the profile: high overstay, past non-compliance, and security concerns. For Chadians, it's déjà vu. Doors closed before, now a financial barrier stands in the way. This repeated targeting damages relations, hurts business, and severs personal ties. The US becomes seen as unwelcoming and unreliable. Now we move from likely targets to confirmed ones. The first countries hit by the pilot program. The reasons for their selection reveal even more. Number 4, Zambia, officially hit by the visa bond pilot, despite a moderate overstay rate of 7%. Why Zambia? It's not just numbers. Additional vetting concerns play a role, a vague term covering anything from security to document reliability. The US can target countries without public evidence, making the policy hard to challenge. For Zambians, it's frustrating. Even with a lower overstay rate, they're penalized. Entrepreneurs and students now face a $15,000 barrier, regardless of their intentions. The message: follow the rules, and you can still be targeted. Number 3, Malawi. Also part of the pilot with an even lower overstay rate, 6.5%. Why target Malawi? It's about sending a message. Even single-digit rates can trigger the bond if the US has other concerns. The policy is a warning to the region. Cooperate, or your citizens could be next. For Malawian students and families, the bond is an insurmountable hurdle. The selection feels less about data, more about making an example. No country is safe from opaque, shifting criteria. Number 2, St. Lucia, not targeted for overstays but for its citizenship by investment program, Golden Passports. The US fears these programs let people buy citizenship and use it as a backdoor to America. The threat of visa bonds or revoked privileges pressures St. Lucia to tighten security. For small island nations, CBI programs are vital revenue, but now come with US strings attached. The bond is a lever for the US to dictate policy far beyond its borders. All St. Lucians, new and old citizens, are penalized until the US is satisfied. It's a clear example of visa policy as global power play. Number 1, Turkey. Not on the list yet, but under serious discussion. Why? A growing overstay issue, a popular CBI program, and most importantly, politics. Turkey is a NATO ally and regional power, but relations with the US are strained. Adding Turkey would be a massive diplomatic blow, showing even major allies aren't immune. The visa bond becomes a tool for high-stakes negotiation and pressure. If Turkey can be targeted, any country can. The bond is more than a policy, it's a global threat. From the serene landscapes of Laos, a country steeped in tradition and ancient history, to the bustling metropolis of Turkey, a bridge between Europe and Asia where modernity meets timeless culture, a new policy is emerging, one where the visa bond isn't just a bureaucratic hurdle, but a significant financial barrier that can exert considerable political pressure on individuals seeking to cross borders. The initial pilot program, a test case for this new approach to immigration, is projected to affect approximately 2,000 applicants within its first year of operation. This endeavor comes with a substantial price tag, requiring an investment of $20 million in bonds to secure the entry of these individuals. But this initial rollout is merely the beginning, a glimpse into a potentially much larger and more impactful shift. Once this framework is firmly in place, the infrastructure established, it becomes remarkably easy to expand its reach, extending its influence to a wider range of countries and individuals. What begins as a seemingly contained pilot program, a limited experiment in immigration control, has the potential to rapidly evolve into the new normal, a standard practice affecting the lives and travel opportunities of millions of people across the globe. This isn't solely about the 10 countries initially targeted by the pilot program. It signifies a fundamental shift in the very concept of global freedom of movement, altering the landscape of international travel. Your passport, once a symbol of national identity and a gateway to the world, and your bank account, a reflection of your financial standing, now matter more than ever before, wielding an unprecedented level of influence over your ability to travel and connect with the world. This policy represents a new kind of barrier, a wall not constructed from physical bricks and mortar, but meticulously built with complex banking codes and financial regulations. Is this truly the kind of world we aspire to create? A world where the pursuit of a cherished dream or the longing for a family reunion can be so easily derailed by the imposition of a hefty 5-figure deposit? I'm eager to hear your thoughts and perspectives on this evolving situation, so please share your opinions in the comments section below. And if you found this analysis insightful and want to stay informed about the forces shaping the future of travel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking stories that will undoubtedly change how you perceive the world.